And we're back for the second half of the podcast. Once again, I'm Cody Morgan, Taylor Neal, and we have a new guest now, Caleb Nelson. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going. How are you?
I'm good. Excited to have you on the podcast with us. Excited that you're a partner in this project. I just wanted to, let the public have the opportunity to maybe hear a little bit of your backstory and your inspiration for partnering with Taylor and the other great people you have to build the community gym here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having us, man. This is great, and I'm glad we could service each other here a little bit. Quick excerpt. Born and raised Port Orchard kid, just like the rest of us, the rest of our core group here. We spent some time out. I was in Oregon for about 6 years going to school, came back, found our way back home, started working on a few other projects, help you with your project.
Thank you.
And then, I've been kind of searching for the next bit, and here it is. We've been working on this for. He's going to be a little humble. We've been working on this for a while, but
brainstorming back in the day and just talking about it, dreaming big.
Yep. And then I think really it was COVID. I think COVID kind of put the boost in the plan there a little bit, and was, hey, maybe this is a good time.
What was it? Was it a little bit more downtime to think? What was it that made it the right time for you?
I think it was, we had a little bit of downtime, but I think we also anticipated that it's not the best time maybe for small businesses, and especially a gym in this day during COVID, during the pandemic. And I think we had the hunch that who was the gym that we were training at was going to maybe fold or close down or sell. And so we thought that, hey, let's jump on it.
So you started thinking about it, started talking about it. Yeah. One thing led to another. Yep. Did you talk to a lot of people about it, or was you just kind of a select group of people that was these discussions going on?
It was mainly internal. I mean, we've got our close network, Terry being one of them, and a good group of others that we bounced ideas off the wall. Hey, this is what we kind of want to do. Do we want to build? Do we want to buy a place? Or where do we go? Lots of different meetings with potential investors, people that, we had the money and a plan to build or opportunity. So it was really kind of just trying to find the best option. Mm-hmm. And I think we had a good option. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And so, again, we just pivoted and kept course. And, now we're here.
So I know you and Taylor, worked on some training together, a lot of training with athletes and stuff. When did that start, and how maybe did that contribute to, where you guys are now?
Man, this guy right here he's been training obviously for a long time. For 6 years he's been doing his own thing. So, and I intermittently would help out with things. I'd see him in the gym when I'd come back from school, and we'd chat it up, and we'd chop it up a little bit, and then helped him do a couple workouts with small groups in the gym, and we were doing some things. And
I Love My City Weekend.
Yep, and then that's the big one. It was the I Love My City Weekend.
What was that? Tell us a little bit about that.
He put together what? Together.
So that's through that's through New Life. So New Life is a church here in Port Orchard, and actually there's quite a few of them, but they do this thing called I Love My City Weekend, and encourage people to go out and find a way to love their city, love or provide for their community. And I was just like, we're gonna hold free workouts for the kids, and we popped up at Burley Glenwood, at Cedar Heights, at Hidden Creek. Yeah. We had different workouts, different days. We had a schedule, and the kids
at the schools. Was it during school? Was it after school?
No, it was summertime.
Summertime.
Yeah, the kids came and they worked out.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, we did. It was so long weekend. It was nice. And
was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yep, we just pulled up to all the local elementary parks and junior high parks. And
did you contact the school before to let the kids know? How did the kids know to come to these?
We just sharing on social media, sharing with our network, sharing with the church, people in the church, and just letting them know, hey, This is our schedule. Kids come work out for free, and they came.
Yeah.
Sometimes they didn't. Yeah. One time we were out there with Tessa Anderson came out by herself, and she came out with her kids, and she kicked some butt across the field with us.
It was awesome.
but we'd show up and wait, and someone showed up to every single one. Some were full, some weren't, but it was a blast, and that's how we started. Really,
that was really the jump, and we just that was I think anybody being there could really sense that obviously from us the passion we had behind it, but that all the kids and the grown-ups, even the adults, the mom with her kids, she bought into it and she loved that we also got her young kids involved. They were there to just hang out while she worked out, and then we ended up getting them in workouts and doing stuff. So it was easy. It's kind of for everybody and get them involved.
So how do you fit in as part of the team here? What's your role currently, and what do you bring to the squad?
Yeah, I think right now we're both kind of multiple hats. We're kind of doing a lot, which as we bring in more people, that's like starting a business, you kind of got to bootstrap, and you end up doing a lot of different things. I think. As far as some of the business financial stuff and kind of just that aspect of it, I've got experience there, so I can bring in that piece. And then is really, the athletic side of it. I was a college athlete at one point in my life. Played sports growing up my entire life, and always knew that was something I wanted to give back and do after my playing days were over, and kind of grew up a little bit and started coaching and started helping kids, and that's what I'm passionate about, what I love to do. So. And
same question for you, Taylor. What does Caleb bring special to your team, and why do you love him so much?
You want me to leave while you answer this one? You want me to walk out?
No, man. Caleb put the walls up this past month. Like I said, I feel like I built this foundation, or put this idea out there, but I don't have the business background. I don't have the knowledge. I just have this heart and passion, and I put my head down and ran, and then you look up, and it's like, oh, there's a lot of things here that, I could take all the time in the world to study, and I wouldn't learn it. And then it's just meant to be this way. Him and I are in the room, we're talking about leases, and he's just throwing numbers out there. I'm like, whoa.
Is that a good idea? How is this?
But my man just wheeling.
Is that the market rate?
He's wheeling and
Is that
dealing.
a good deal? Mm-hmm.
And like I appreciate the hell out of you. Like I don't even know, man.
You.
You know that,
appreciate you, man.
He's definitely on the business side. Has done a whole lot. I text him when I'm struggling with things. Going on an adventure like this is like this, you get lonely, you get scared, you get feelings, and he's the one I hit up because he's right there with me, and he's keep your head up, just like on the field, you're talking to your teammates, pick your chin up, man, unless we got this next play to make, and he's been that for me, then we will focus on the next play, focus on the next move, what's next, like how can we focus forward, people are talking and watching, we're walking, and we hold each other accountable. It's been a lot for me.
Do you have any advice for other people trying to start projects of, connecting as a group and maybe, taking that step to ask for help or to try to find partners? It's kind of a scary thing sometimes. And I think for some reason in some of our culture, we have the idea that there's one person that's the owner or a couple people that are owners, and that, it's not good to find as many partners. Can you speak to the partnership and the advantages, and maybe how to go about finding people to help pursue a dream that you have?
I want to say there's the best, your net worth and your network. It wasn't that long ago, I honestly, my both bank accounts are strapped, or, I'm not struggling, I'm living, but by no means am I wealthy or do I have a lot, but I know I can call my friend to host us for a podcast to share what we're after. I have a good friend of mine who's a nutrition and health coach who kicks butt and is passionate about helping people. That only expands. There's so much.
So it's a mindset thing.
And the people, and that's what I based off in the beginning. I didn't want a gym. I wanted to be connected with every single gym and take my programs to their gyms. I wanted to share my passion and hopefully the value that I can bring to them with them. I called every single gym. I messaged every single gym, you know. And some people I sat down with, we had great conversation in hopes of making things work, but, you know, did or it didn't. Hopefully it will still at some point, who knows. But, you know, especially in the fitness industry, you got egos, you have, you know, I mean, any industry, people want to do things their way or they have their vision. And that's understandable, but I realized, you know, like, maybe the way my approach wasn't the one, but I feel like establishing this and showing people what we're really doing is going to lead to us taking our program to other people's places, inviting them into our space. And that's going to be the one, is like when I say, okay, you know, want me in your house or whatever, maybe like whatever it might be, like come into our house, come feel this, be a part of this. And, you know, if you're, then hopefully, you know, we can come provide some sort of value for your members too. Or, you know, your members can come here at a discounted rate because they're your members and we're working together for a healthy community. But there's just so much possible when you work together, and the old heads talking about no other owners or this or that or whatever, like their experiences are their experiences, but I've seen what you've done. You know, I've seen what you've done bringing in other owners, and yeah, it's a new model, and you're kind of creating it as you go. But look at what you've done the past couple years at Bevco. Like,
If I just kept it myself, I would have just stayed in Manchester for the whole time.
I'm saying, man.
And it would have been fun, but it wouldn't have been as impactful and as reaching as it has become. And I know you're big on the mindset, Caleb, for entrepreneurship and community. Do you want to speak to a little bit about your guys' mindset with the project, and, you know, how that Taylor's mindset helped, you know, inspire you to be involved?
Yeah, I mean, biggest thing, and one that I don't think he gives himself credit for, is the network that he has established in his life, but especially in the past couple of years doing what he's doing.
How do you think he got there?
Being himself more than anything. I mean, he oozes charisma and passion. And I mean, if you're around him for more than 5 minutes, I mean, doesn't matter where you're around. I mean, it's easy to pick that up, right? People can pick up what you're putting down. So, yeah, I think, you know, if you want to get somewhere fast, where they say you want to get somewhere fast, you do it yourself. You want to go somewhere far, you do it with other people, right? So that's really, especially in business, I think that's it. Because bottom line, if you've got one customer, it's yourself, you're never going to get anywhere, right? You're not, who are you impacting? Just yourself. You've got a customer base that's the entire community and beyond, you know, people we've connected with in other states, other countries. I mean, it goes beyond that. And, you know, we're at a point where I think we can, as we're building this and get to maybe where we want to be ultimately, we can bring that to other places and show other people and bring, you know, expand on where our network of people who have said, hey, you know, this is really cool, I'd like to support this, and they might be in Arizona or Texas or in, you know, in New York or wherever they're at. But I think it's a movement for everybody and a whole way for everybody that they're all a part of. So,
and I think it's you're a good communicator too with your mindset and your values. The rise together. Can you say that one more time? The mindset, the slogan you have for you.
Build each other, rise together.
Build each other, rise together. You must have discovered that somewhere along the lines of like, hey, this is what I'm living for here. And finding the right words to share it with other people, because you got to be able to communicate, you know, what your passion and where you're coming from to others.
The first way I ever described it, and probably the best way I ever described it, was I was probably in high school or fresh out, and I was talking to a buddy who was having a rough time in a relationship, and I don't know where it came from, but it always stuck with me after this. It was like, a relationship with a significant other, with a friend, with business, whatever it is, should be push-pull, right? If I'm up somewhere where I can help you, and you're down and you need a hand, I'm gonna pull you up to my level, and not only that, I'm gonna push you up above me. Because you know what comes after that? You're going to pull me up to your level and then push me up above you. It's not about I have to be above. It's not about I have to be better. It's I'm going to pull you up to where I'm at, and then I'm going to lift you up to where I'm not, so that you can do the same to me. And if we can start that and continue it, then possibilities are endless. That's in anything. Like, why would you not want your relationships to be like that?
That kind of cancels out any selfish mindset that you have. Thinking that way.
But yeah, it started talking about like this is how a boyfriend and girlfriend should
Mm-hmm.
be, and then I was just like, this is how every relationship should be. I want every relationship in my life to be like this.
Yes.
On both sides.
Yeah, that's pretty unique. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of where that started, and then it's just just because our goals are different, people struggle in things all the time. Faith, financial, physical, mental, emotional, like whatever it is, relationships. Like, I don't know what you're dealing with, but the door's open. If you want to come talk to me about it, I'll listen, I'll help, I'll support. Whatever it is, like, I got your back. If you believe in something different than me, like, that's okay. As long as your intentions are good, I got your back. If not, I might beat your ass. No, I'm just joking. Okay, we'll still cut that out. No, I'm joking. But
It was a joke, folks.
it was. No, but it's really like, it's just about just lifting people up. There's no reason to not.
Do you think we're strong enough, Caleb, to be able to implement that in our hometown, and kind of how maybe we can start this revitalization of Port Orchard post-COVID?
I really do. I think, and for people that aren't from here, but some people that are from here don't have the realization of how large Port Orchard, and I think the growing area around Port Orchard, out to Southworth, Manchester, all those places, how much growth there is going to be, and how much there has been in the last 5 years, and how much there's going to be in the next 10 years. And I think with that has come, in the median age of Port Orchard right now, the city of Port Orchard is 35.
Crazy.
10 years ago, it was 40s. It was in the 40s. So it just goes to show the people that are living here, the kind of demographic in this area that's appealing to, and you're starting to see a lot younger kids. Again, we have the biggest high school in the state. I think you're going to get more people now that want a place to be engaged in the community, and chances and opportunities and resources where they can get involved, whereas kind of the older Port Orchard community, older in the sense of, past community, was maybe not so much about that. It was kind of more of a stopping point for a lot of people, or not a point of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I feel like we're in a unique place too, where like it's just such a big, like Terry was talking about, an energy shift. Like, that's what's going on. Like, the club that's closing has been around since the 80s. That's been our fitness club is closing, and we're trying to open up something new. Like, yeah, there's lots of other clubs, but it's like there's this shift there. There's this shift downtown. There's this shift in the age demographic. Like,
They just put in they're putting in the new Fast Ferry this month.
yeah, and I feel like this is a unique opportunity for us to make it ours, but make it ours, like make it our communities, or, big companies are going to come take it over.
I share the same sentiment on that.
Yeah, because Port Orchard's looking for an identity,
and we still have that hometown.
It is.
We still have that hometown.
Feel.
Like, it's not hard. It won't be hard to, like, hey, let's keep this ours. But also, like, without restricting opportunity or restricting from people, let's keep this ours. Let's keep this, the cool little spots we have downtown. Let's keep these great ideas from the people from here. Yeah, there's people coming. They're not looking to all create. They're looking for a place to come live.
Right.
And let's provide them with the things that they can have in the place they want to live. Or the things that they want in the place they want to live.
Yeah, I think that's, a really good direction for our town, is to welcome, the people moving here.
Yep.
And innovate a community that keeps together, like the kind of the small town feel that we have, with some of these innovative businesses coming from local, as opposed to franchise businesses moving in, which they will always do if the population grows and there's vacant spaces. We've already seen it in the last couple of years, small businesses being replaced by some big businesses. and I guess we're both part of that.
Oh yeah.
We're part of it right now. It might be weird looking back like 20 years from now and be like, oh, dude, did we even understand what we were doing at that time?
I'm with you.
Do we
I'm
ever?
with you. I'm with you because I think very quickly, with a lot of the development going around, it could, Port Orchard, and not to knock on some of the other neighboring communities, but Port Orchard could turn into a gig harbor where it's kind of an extension of another metropolis city in Tacoma, and there's not. There might be a little bit of community sense there, but Port Orchard is a small community and has been that way.
It has not changed in
forever.
30 years. Come on.
And it needs to. It's looking for, what are we going to be? What is Port Orchard going to be? And who's going to determine that? People that live in Connecticut that are just putting businesses up, that, having franchises and buying property? Or is it going to be people that are from here that, we know what this place needs the best? People that are...
The next 5 to 10 years of Port Orchard is probably the most important that it's had in like 50 years.
Agreed.
Yeah. And that's why we're all moving, man. We see that.
We do.
And I hope that anybody watching this and feeling this, if they don't see it, they can kind of see it now. And if they have seen it and they're wondering how or what they can do, or they have ideas, that they reach out to us because they have our support. I know they have your support. Yeah. They have my support. I want those ideas. Like, how easy would it have been for you to say, oh, this crazy idea I have, or listen to that person, oh man, no, you can't do that. If you would have listened to the no's, how far would you have gone?
I would have stayed at the Manchester store for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Every single person that I talked to about the second location that is now demolished, but that talked to about that said not to do it. My parents, my friends, other people I talked to, it was just like, why would you want to put this was at downtown Port Orchard's roughest time, where it had the most vacancies on the strip. Yeah. It was like more than half vacant on the downtown strip. It was one of the probably the lowest point for the downtown in the history of the downtown. But I just saw the opportunity, like when there's openings and things not going well, that means you have a great opportunity to move forward with your vision and a dream that you do have. And so, yeah, I remember sitting up on the hill above the old location, looking down, going, oh man, this decision is going to determine like a large part of the next part of my life. And so you guys felt the risk, obviously, taking the getting the keys and paying the money and signing the lease to that. So maybe you could talk to a little bit of the excitement, but probably also a little bit of the fear that comes from, the unknown and jumping into a project like that, and the fear that usually keeps people from ever pushing forward in their projects in their lives.
I think again, especially for us, since we had a plan sort of in place that seemed a little not obviously risk-free, but a little foolproof, by basically assuming a standing business that we knew we could have improved.
Maybe an easier route?
Definitely an easier route, whereas, day one we're operating. So that would have obviously more money up front, but that was, to us, that would have been very comfortable. It would have been easy to do because we would wake up the next morning and just now we're gym owners instead of wake up the next morning and now you have to build a gym, So... But I think...
Did you have the moment where you were tossing the idea of if you were going to do it or not on this new place? Like where you're thinking about, or were you all in all the time?
I think once we realized that we're not going to be able to, the deal's not going to go down to Olympic Fitness, okay, next.
Okay.
Because I at that point we had
already made the decision. And
we'd built a lot of momentum, right? Our traction that had been built by not soliciting people, but by, laying down groundwork and saying, hey, listening to people, listening to close member bases, listen to our member base about what they want. It's like, okay, this is wanted, this is needed. let's do it. Let's give it to them.
So sometimes maybe it's not just a defining moment. Sometimes maybe it is that you're putting in the work and then pushing the momentum forward along the way to where you come to a point you're like, well, we've came this far, man.
Yep.
Like, what are we going to do? What else do we want? Here we go.
Yep. And I think we just had, not that either one of us wanted to, we're doubting it, but we had so much, again, built up so much traction from people in the last, even 3-4 months that we were, trying to get this deal to go through. It was like, we can't not do something now. All these people, not expecting, but are all on board with this.
Right.
We floated this idea and everyone wants a piece of it. Let's make it happen.
So I think a good lesson for young or new entrepreneurs out there is that even the stuff you do on your downtime, or especially the stuff you do on your downtime and on the time where it doesn't feel like it's the most important, like maybe, you guys doing workouts for a couple athletes or something, it's so important to like where you are now and like what gave you the, the momentum and the inspiration to keep going. Was where, as far as like, I don't need to do the maybe I want to go have a date instead of do the training with the kids, the free training with the kids on this one, or maybe it's easier for me to go on a vacation than to tend to put in these extra couple weeks and keep working on it.
There's definitely a lot of sacrifices to be made.
That's where I was kind of leading with that.
Definitely a lot of sacrifice.
What does it feel like to put in those sacrifices for your dreams? And was it worth it? Or is it worth it?
It's always worth it. Sometimes it's hard to feel that. Sometimes, like I live in Tacoma right now. A lot of times I'm out here, I'm training in the gym at 5:30 a.m. I'll wake up at 3:30 a.m., come out, train for a few hours, and then I have a little gap. Sometimes I'll go home and try to squeeze a nap in. Sometimes I'll, our laundry's broken at our apartment, so sometimes I'm at the laundromat, and then I go right back to training, but a lot of times my days are long. And at the end of the day, going home
exhausted.
Exhausted.
But feeling good.
Sometimes feeling alone.
Right.
Sometimes feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
It's that varies. But one instance, a couple instances. There's a few. I could tell a few stories this past couple months that would blow people's minds.
Let's share one. What's the one that comes to your mind first?
So the first one that comes to my mind, I was bummed out just on something didn't work out the way that I wanted, and it's like sometimes I like get in these places where it's like, man, I just want to, like, why am I doing this? And it's brief. It's not I ain't never gonna quit, but it's brief. But I'm in this moment. I'm driving home and I'm just kind of pissed or just in the mood. And I get a text from a mom of one of my elementary kids, and it said that his name's Milo. Shout out my dude Milo. But he was talking about, or they were talking about things that they're thankful through COVID and quarantine. And he said, if we didn't get shut down and we stayed in our main sports, we would have never gone to train with Coach Tay, and we would have never met him. And so that was his words. And then the words from his mom just kind of like thanking me, like, just for what I've done, the fact that they would have never even been to meet me or train with me, but they're excited to continue training with me for, even when sports come back. But, that I could be a light in a time of darkness in these kids' lives. We could, all of us have been there and worked with these kids. I went from 0 to 100 real quick, one text, and it's stuff like that keeps me going. Another time, I'm going to one of my 5:30 a.m. sessions, and I'm in Tacoma. I'm walking out of my apartment, and there's a homeless guy doing yoga on the side of the street. This was last week, and there's just been a lot going on. But he's doing yoga, and I'm kind of going to Starbucks, and I'm looking out, just watching him. Like, this guy's been doing yoga for a while. He's like really going on full Warrior 3. Like he's getting it. And I go out and I'm walking by him, and I look kind of back at him, and he goes, "What's up, brother? How you doing?" And it's 5 in the morning, 5:30. I'm like, do you always do yoga in the middle of the street at 5 a.m? and I kid you not, like, this is exactly how it goes. And I'm kind of like still walking, and he stops and he's like, come here, man, let's talk for a minute. And I'm like, all right, let's talk.
All right,
you know,
let's
you
see
were
where
just
this
killing,
goes.
you were just killing those yoga poses. I want to hear what you have to say. And bro, and we've been going through a lot, gyms, gym ownership, trying to find a facility, you know, like I'm like, and he says, first thing he says, I don't know where you're at in life. I don't know what you're going through. I'm not talking to him. He's talking to me. I don't know what you're going through. He says, you're here, but you could be here. And he just said, don't fucking stop. And I was just like, whew. I've never met this dude. He has no idea what I'm going through. He's homeless on the side of the street, and he's telling me these things. I don't know what you believe in. I mean, everyone can believe in what they want, but his name was Derek. His name is Derek. I got his phone number. I call him Derek, my yoga street angel. You know, like that was God talking to me, telling me keep going, man. That's what I believe in firmly. And and I called him a couple of days ago. We were talking, and we're gonna get together. And you know, like, but that's
crazy.
That doesn't just happen, man. And it was magic. And I got up. It changed again. Got me through the day. Like I'm on fire because of these other things that are coming indirectly, direct. It's the universe, God, all of it works in a way that we can't understand, but I know that it's working. I cannot deny it. And yeah, man.
We draw a decent amount of inspiration internally, but at the same time, the other people in our lives, even if it's just somebody we just met, can have a large impact on our feeling and our inspiration.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, Caleb. Do you have any stories quite like that?
Well, I mean, how many times have you read The Fortune and the Fortune Cookie and swallowed it? Right? That's what you're supposed to do. You read that and say, "Yep, that's for me."
Oh yeah.
So. No, I think there's kind of epiphanies throughout life, and you know, whether it's a homeless street angel yoga guy or just someone you overhear talking. You know, I think there's subconsciously your brain's gonna take the information that you really need to hear. I think that's out of our power. You know, it's gonna tell you. Life's going to hit you in the face or let you know when you need something. So
it also lets us know, too, that we can be that person that inspires other people.
Yes.
As well.
100%.
Even with a few words.
100%.
And so I think
given the opportunity to do something like this, you know,
yeah,
being able to talk to other people.
Yeah, that's something I think everybody listening can take from that, too, is that even a few words to somebody you don't know can change their day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to see what other things you guys have planned for the gym that might be outside of the actual gym. Any community projects? You guys talk big about connecting with other people and pursuing your dreams as well. Do you have any things in mind for outside the gym outreach?
Yeah, so I'll go real quick, and I know we both kind of have some ideas and things that we've talked about, but so we're putting together these sponsorship packages and opportunity, really fundraising opportunities for local businesses to support us in fundraising and put those funds they raise with their communities and their business towards sponsorship in our building, at events. We plan on doing a lot of events, unique, different things in the community. I mean, I've always held outdoor camps in Port Orchard. One of the things I'm hoping to do, though, is take these sponsorship opportunities, fundraising opportunities to Bremerton, Central Kitsap, North Kitsap, because I have kids that travel from Kingston and Paulsbo to train with me here. So if we can get support from these other communities to bring our camps to other parts of Kitsap, then that outreach aspect, then it's okay. Now we have that small community that started here with me training in the park is around. Like I honestly, I want to put up a obviously not an 11,000 square foot building, but it would be awesome to have, with the team that we have and the people that we're connected with in Kitsap, to have a small box location in Paulsbo, or Silverdale, or gyms in those areas that we can connect with and bring our programs to and just add value to what they're doing. Like I said, I want to partner with gyms. I want to partner with fitness professionals. I want to work with schools. It's been really hard to get into South Kitsap.
The school district?
Just like with the sports teams.
Sports teams.
I just feel like there's
high school, junior high, both?
High school, there's just a lot of old blood. There's definitely rules, but, a lot of it's like my way or the highway, and we don't need it outside, I don't know. But, Clahalia High School, 4 years ago, I was doing speed and agility with their girls lacrosse program. I've been doing that. I got in with their girls basketball program. Now I'm coaching girls tennis. Like, I don't know how. Like, I just popped up at Clahalia, but I would love to have our trainers and team just connected with all these programs. If they need nutrition, like Terry goes out and holds a nutrition clinic at North Kitsap High School. Like,
I think as a student athlete too, it would be nice to get out of your normal routine for just a little bit to do a different program.
It's necessary. If you want to get somewhere that no one else is going, then you got to do something that nobody else is doing.
Plus, you're connecting with other members of your community that could possibly provide some leadership and mentorship to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's one big one that Taylor touched on in the first segment of giving internships and giving job opportunities and learning experiences to especially to younger kids. High school age kids and younger, that they can bring that into life wherever they're going, whether it's on a college application, a job application, real life experience. That's going to be one big one. I also think we've got a lot of knowledge in our core, whether it's academia or not, that we can provide to kids. If they need tutoring, if they need lessons on how to balance a checkbook. I mean, whatever it is, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of those that we are wanting to and can provide.
Those outside the system learning.
That maybe
opportunities.
isn't technically fitness or personal health, but I mean, all of it's personal health. Help kids figure out that hey, you want to play sports? Okay, this is in college. Let's help you figure out how to contact coaches. You want to get into the Navy and you need to pass you're worried about passing the physical. Let's help you out.
Let's get you ready.
Whatever it is, right? There's lots of those things that I think we can help prepare kids for, and that we can kind of be big brothers and big sisters for.
I think we need that too, with kind of how our system of education is a little outdated, at least maybe from our perspective. It might be outdated.
I definitely think so.
And so it really. Okay, so we're in a corner on
We're on
that.
agreement.
I don't know.
It's love.
I haven't been in school in a while, so I don't remember it.
But it's time for the next generation to re-envision, and I think it's through outside programs first to re-envision how to make our kids into great healthy people.
Well, you've kind of seen it through quarantine, like all these people starting their co-op schools and stuff, and they're like,
Is that what's going on? I don't know anything about this.
People have started their co-op schools. It's like a homeschool co-op.
A homeschool co-op. Right.
So like I know there's one like some friends of mine started one. I'm pretty sure they're out of a church. But yeah, it's I think there might only be like 12 to 15 kids, but you got all these families coming together. They got a certified teacher to come in and kind of oversee everything. I couldn't tell you if it's certain age groups or how it works exactly, but I know that people were loving it. Some people, when things go back to normal, are going back to school, but I feel like there's going to be people that are like, yo, homeschool is really working, or the kids are they're responding so much different, or they're learning so much more, or hey,
they both can exist.
Do it how we want and teach them how we want them to learn, or show them that, opportunities are endless. Like, who's to say, like, kids aren't seeing this and saying, we could do a lot more for ourselves. We don't have to rely on the school or the system or, whatever we rely on. Like everyone jumped and made something happen. And just seeing that is a possibility. And and they might not know it now, but they understand that it's a possibility to create something.
When we started to get to high school, I think I remember most kids thinking like, oh, dude, like half the stuff we're learning is bullshit here. Like it might be important for a specific area or a specific trade or a specific career, but like the majority, like half the stuff we're learning, why are we learning this? Like,
becomes more of like a discipline type thing, doesn't it? It's like
it did.
You know, almost
get good grades. You got to go to college, but also
exactly.
you're not going to remember this in like a year.
Yeah.
And I took like I took like money management or these different classes, and you know, I'm not saying the teacher at the time or whatever was bad or good, and obviously, you know, I was a high school boy. I was probably goofing off with my friends half the time. I don't know.
Right.
But maybe it would have been different if someone who really like did that for a living or was passionate about that came in and taught it.
Right.
You know, so something I want to do is bring in, you know, like financial advisors and teach these kids money management. Like it took me so long to understand, and you know, I only know what I know, and it's just like anybody else. Like I didn't understand credit or how to build credit or anything about credit. Still, you know, like I'm still learning so much because I wasn't exposed to it, or I didn't have someone who really understood it, or I didn't have someone who was passionate about it sharing with me. If someone's passionate about something talking to me, I'm gonna listen.
You're gonna listen
before like someone who's writing on a chalkboard. You know, like I want, you know, that passion that
has some real world experience, maybe some stories to tell.
So those are some things we want to bring in. Is like, hey, we got this money management course. We're bringing in whoever from the community to share because they know and they're passionate and they want to help you. They want you to know. They want you to take this. I want to see y'all successful. So I'm going to find the best person that I possibly can to teach this and share this with you. I'm not going to share it with you. I'm going to sit there and take notes with you. You know?
I think we're truly in the age of entrepreneurship too, for the folks that are willing to, you know, put in the sacrifice and to go into the unknown into that into their own pathway. You got to forge your own way to be an entrepreneur, right? I mean, I think both of you guys have done that.
Yeah. Well, and I think it would be, you know, I think for the next generations to come, our kids and the kids after, it's going to be, you know, they're going to be exposed to that because that's obviously how we live and how we do things. But I think for a lot of us, our parents weren't exposed to that, as in a different time and not being in the information age, right? Where now we're all just on the cusp of, we didn't grow up with cell phones and fast internet and things like that, right? We were on the age where it just came up as we were teenagers. Now everybody is born with that. So I think it's now almost overload, whereas it was like, no, sweet, we've got all this access to information, we can look this up, we can see this, or I can watch this video or do this. But now it's going to be like so much that maybe people are like deterred from reaching out or trying to figure out what to do, you know,
that stuff
find that information.
That stuff can be a distraction or a tool. And
right.
I think
either way,
I think that for the kids, it's a tool, but it leads to a distraction. And I think that,
do you see you work with you encounter a lot more kids than me. Do you see it like an effect in the kids compared to what you remember us?
Yeah, I mean, my nephew doesn't play with toys. He watches kids play with toys.
Yes.
On YouTube, you know, like I never, and I'm not all the time like he plays with toys, but you see kids these days, they will sit and watch another kid play with toys and make Play-Doh on YouTube before they make
they experience and do it on their own. Yeah,
they're gonna watch people play Fortnite instead of downloading and playing the free game.
You're big on imagination. Yeah. That eliminates all imagination.
Everything.
That eliminates every single bit.
Well, if that's the only thing you do, sometimes you can
Build
watch and learn from others and then inspire on your own path.
Yeah.
As long as you have a good balance of both.
You gotta have guide balance, you know, like. And that's another thing. It's like a lot of people in busy world, it's hard to provide, and I completely understand. But you know, it's like that screen is a babysitter. Take this.
Are you guys both really busy?
Define really busy.
I like to use the word full. Schedule is full.
Full schedule.
Full schedule. Always.
How do you deal with this the stress of go And do you find certain ways to find your meditation, or to find ways to kind of find your peace, to like let your mind calm down?
That's actually something I struggled with a little bit lately, a lot more lately. It's very important to me, but and it's definitely something I really look forward to, knowing I have solid people jumping in this ship with me. Honestly, that's probably my biggest thing I'm excited about, is because I know and I've seen and I've felt how much more productive, or how many more great things can come when I take that time. But,
to yourself? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But lately,
It's tough to find the time
hard.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But we do feel better when. Caleb, do you do any
necessary.
specific things that kind of let you, whether it's, maybe exercise for both of you is probably a big one.
Yeah.
At least when you're not teaching.
Walking my dog.
I don't think that's the biggest one for me. Like if I can find a time to like lately it's been about like beginning of the day, setting my intentions, meditate. I listen to, I don't know if you're familiar with Insight Timer. It's an app. It's a great app. But
Insight Timer.
Yeah, they have people like lead meditations. The other day I was watching like this girls' college basketball player, and it was probably the coolest thing I've listened to in a long time. But I sat in the sauna and I just listened to her talk. But they have all these really cool things and guided meditations, and I think that's helped me lately, because it's like if I do get away, I don't have the time. It's like it's hard to separate here,
Yeah, it's tough.
So having someone guide me through it a little bit was it's been helpful lately.
I mean, I'm a believer. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, that like we do, as humans, we consume a lot, right? Food, water, entertainment,
Constantly.
conversation. We also, it's good to have a nice balance of creativity too, to where you consume, but you also create. You give your passion to the world, whether it's training, whether it's brewing beer and cider, whether it's creating
Cooking.
artwork. But a lot of times we forget about that middle ground where it's like, okay, for just a little bit, I need to let my mind like not do anything and just
shut
rest.
it off.
Yeah, just rest for a little bit. And we can't always count on sleep to do that, because usually our habits kind of run into our sleep as well sometimes. At least I've seen it for
yeah.
myself.
Oh yeah. It does.
It doesn't necessarily stop when you sleep. So I think that's big for people that have busy lives, is because it can be very stressful, and if you don't find time for yourself, then you're not able to be your best person to do the things you have to do.
Definitely. Another big one for me too is like, and I find this easy to do when you're chasing things and you're busy and you got the screens all the time, is like really create like meaningful time and connection, and set aside time to make connection on those like valuable relationships, like family, or sit down with your friends and have real conversation. Different from, hey, how you been? Oh, great. What's new? But really like those real conversations. Sit down and love each other. Sit down and have a meal with each other. Love on your nephews. Love, like that's something that I've really been trying to take time, at least like weekly time, stop and see my family, or call or text or whatever. Like it's easy to, when you're forward focused on something, to get distracted, but those things bring so much value.
They're the most important things in our lives.
Yeah, definitely.
I was listening to like a talk from Steve Jobs the other day. I heard it, and what he was talking about is like how that no matter what you do in your life, no matter the things you create or the challenges you overcome, how your relationships, your personal relationships with other people, your close relationships, will be the most important thing to you that you think about when you die. This was probably close to when he had cancer and was about to die. And I thought, coming from somebody who had done so much and on such a big scale, that's got to ring true with everybody. But I think we lose sight of that sometimes when we get so busy.
Well, and I think he would have even said that he lost sight of it at times.
Oh,
that
sure.
It was something like getting cancer that made him be able to realize again, right? And too little, too late. R.I.P. But something to think about. Purpose is a big one. Do things with a purpose. What is your purpose for your
Do
day?
it with love.
Do it with love.
That's one of my best friends I will never forget is like, we'd pull up to a coffee shop, and he'd get his coffee and we'd be driving off and he'd say something like, dang, they really made this coffee with love, Tay. Or if it wasn't good, he would say, like, they definitely didn't make this with love. But coffee, anything, like, if you do it with a passion or with a love or knowing that, like, what you're doing right now will result in the happiness or satisfaction of somebody else and their day or their life, like, something so small, a coffee,
Don't feel that.
a sip of a coffee, like, you really learn to understand, like, just you put love in everything you do, every conversation, every interaction, every time, I can throw a workout up on the board, or I can really take some time and, like, hey, I want this, I love this, and I want it to be great for this specific person, this workout, the experience, I want it all to be done with love, like everything, like what you guys are doing right here, like clearly it's out of love. You love what you're doing, or you have passion or hope for something, and that's why, this is going the way it's going, or we're feeling, like it's out of love. You guys love what you're doing. We love what you're doing. We feel it.
I think we feel the best, or at least I feel the best, when I have enough happiness and joy to actually share it with other people. Like, that's when I feel like I'm actually succeeding as a human.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't want to share with anybody. I want all this happiness to myself.
Then you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think people find that false happiness in other things, whether it's materials or a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a car, a nice house, whatever it is.
All things you can lose, man.
All things you can lose. I think there's obviously something primitive in all people, but I think a lot of that comes back to natural human instinct, and that's one of them, happiness. So.
Well, I think we're running about out of time, but I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to talk to all your people out there.
I'll give the shout outs.
Talk to all your people.
Raw Fitness, baby. Rack it up. Rack, baby.
From the
Rack
heart,
City.
give them a little 1-2 speech of what's to come, and how excited you guys are, and maybe how they can be involved in the coming weeks and months in your process. Just give them a little pep talk.
There's so many ways to get involved. First of all, we care about your health. So if you have any concern or any interest in learning or finding ways to have our support in your specific journey, if you have any interest in our support in your specific journey, we are here for you. You saw Terry, you saw Caleb, you saw myself. The team is much bigger. We have so many resources, and like I was just saying, it's all out of love and passion, and we want to be here for you. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to call.
Reach out.
Don't hesitate to just show up. Our doors are open. Mi casa, su casa. Our house is your house. You're welcome anytime, any day. And then we're on a mission, and it's just to touch as many lives, lift as many people up as possible. But also, we want to grow, we want to learn, we want to be exposed to things we don't know, and that's constant. That's every day, and we're learning as we go. Super excited, and to all the kids, anybody else that's paying attention, if you have something that you want to go after. I mean, all of us have a testimony, like we're after something, and so many people said us no, and told us no, and we could have stopped, but none of us did, and we look forward to sharing these great things that are coming. Cody, thank you so much for having us, and these guys here holding the podcast, they are, another prime example.
Mr.
Like
Novak behind the scenes back there. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, everyone is just chasing it and doing it out of love. And I'll say it right now, like a lot of the things that or ways I seek to build things that I'm building are based off of what I saw you do in the community, and the way you brought people together.
Thanks,
to create something special. I can't, none of this, nothing that is going on right now is me. It's you, it's notes that I've taken, it's things that I've seen, people that I've watched. It's God working through me, 100%. It's I can't take any credit. It's my community, and that's why we hope to build something special for everybody here.
Woo! Yay! Eat raw foods, drink a lot of water.
Blah.
This has been the Inspired Tomorrow podcast. Our first one with actual people, actual guests. And I hope everybody gets a chance to watch this one and really likes it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Inspire tomorrow. I said it wrong. Inspire tomorrow for a better today.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
I said it wrong like every
We
single
out.
time.
It's all good.
It's all good, man. You learned the ropes.
That was good.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Thank you, man.
Naturals.